Yo, what is up guys, it's Wally, and today we're going to be looking at some of the new content coming in the Repentance DLC. So, Repentance DLC is coming out on March 31st, which is the Wednesday after this video comes out, and this is barely even a DLC, it's more of a sequel. They're adding a whole new path with, I think, probably 8+ floors. There's gonna be, it's like few new chapters, there's gonna be a new final boss, tons of new bosses, tons of new items. I just want to go through the Steam community page today just to check out some of the things that the developers have revealed. So just looking at the main Steam page, that's not the community page, you can see in these images some of the new floors. So this one here, it's kind of like a darker green. This goes along with these sewer floors. They're like, it's like a water drowned floor. And this is the first chapter, pretty much right after the basement you can go into this. After that there are caves floor, they're like caves and mines. I don't know if they show it in here, but there's a, oh yes, here, this kind of, it's another kind of catacombs like floor. It's more purple, it's called the Mausoleum, I believe. And it's really difficult. They're adding so much new stuff, like even just in these little images here, you can see all new items, you can see new enemies, you can see new synergies, you can see like reskins of things, and I want to cover as much as I can today in this video. I'll be trying to go over a lot of the stuff that they've shown today, but like some minor things that we like don't know about. So like this image right here is on the drowned floor, and it is a new boss that they are showing. I do not know the name, I do not believe they say it, but you can just, in this little image here, you can see a ton of different things. So even like the void item in the top corner, it has a reskin. The HUD on the right is a little different. It's all the items are a little bit smaller, so it can show more items that you have. I think it looks really good. There's a lot of little quality of life changes in this. Here's one that I found really interesting. It is a synergy with Azazel. So the item that Azazel has here, I think it's called like Latrophagy or something. And it's the Hungry Tears one. We got this in a couple runs ago, and you see this, Azazel keeps his brimstone, but then those tears come out and they become huge, and look how big those tears that come out are. Like, they're just adding so many different things, so many more items will work together. You can even see some of these enemies in here. There's these fireflies that fly around you. There's these guys that follow around you and they kind of have a monstrous lung shot out. You can see the stat HUD on the left side has color to it now, instead of just being black and white. There are a lot of other little things, like they showcase some of the soundtracks and stuff, but with my uncut videos that I'm going to be doing for the DLC, I won't be putting music over it, and I'll just have the music from the game, because this game has really good music, and some of the songs that they're adding sound really good. So another small thing in this really small video, it might be a little hard to see, there's like a little animations that you can see that they've improved on, but also the placebo active item is now going to be a 1-room recharge instead of 4, which that could be really good. If you have like a balls of steel pill, that is 1 room, every single room you get 2 soul hearts. That's really overpowered, but that item was not very strong. Okay, so in this little video here, you can actually see a reskin of the boss Fistula. It's the guy that kind of flies around and breaks up into all the little maggots. They are doing a lot of reskins in this, and some of them look really good, and I do really like this one. Okay, so in this little thread here that they have, I think they are showing a lot of the Angel Room items, or just some holy items, they're saying. So this one is a sword. It was introduced actually in the mod that this DLC was based off of. You can see a little video of it here. It's kind of thing you charge up, you can swing in a circle, and something different that they're doing from the mod is that if you charge it all the way up, you do a little dash forward. It looks really cool. It looks like a really fun item. It has a ton of synergies too. And in this little video, I think they're showing off a new passive item. They're calling it Divine Intervention. You can see that this shot comes out and it blocks Bloat's brimstone shot and hits it back at him. You can also see a reskin of his eyes that pop out. There's another clip below that. It's a little shield that comes out with a cross on it. That looks really cool. They're also adding in this new enemy called Holy Boney. I believe it is from the card game, the Binding of Isaac card game. He throws little bones that spawn blue fires on top of him. That looks like a really difficult enemy. He's in that video, Isaac's hitting him a lot and is not doing that much damage. So they're making the cathedral floor even harder. I think that's one of the things of this DLC. They're making the game a lot harder. That's what they've been doing with every single add-on they've been adding, because the base game was way too easy. So they had to keep adding harder and harder stuff. In this little video here, you can see a boss on the Downpour or sewer floors called Wormwood. He's a worm, I guess. He can hit through the floor, he can jump through the walls. The bosses on this floor are pretty difficult. You can see more videos of him if you look at him from the anti-birth mod, because he was from that one. Okay, here you can see a new enemy called Needles. So they kind of pop out the ground, they jump at you. They kind of look like little Larry Juniors, but instead of just crawling on the ground, they jump at you. I think this is from a different mod that was out called Bean Folio. It kind of looks similar to one of the enemies from that. And this is another one which I am not excited for. It's another one of those stupid eyeball enemies. This one's called Holy Mom's Eye, and they spawn on the cathedral floor. Instead of shooting tech or brimstone, they'll shoot holy light shots at you. And I already hate those normal ones enough. Being able to shoot holy light is even worse. Another little one, Bishop. They have a little tech laser that will, I believe, shield enemies, but it will also damage you maybe if you cross it. Could be a pretty difficult enemy. Okay, so here they are showing some little style and reskin changes. So this here, I think they're just showing a little new enemy. Yeah, so it kind of looks like those guys are on the cave floor that travel around in a line, but it looks like they group together instead. And there's also going to be those jumper guys that are kind of along with those other tar enemies that they added recently. Okay, so here's some cool ones. So here's reskins for 3 of the characters. There's Blue Baby, there's Maggie, and there's Lilith. I think the Maggie one is the most extreme change, I guess. They just changed her hair a bit. Blue Baby looks a little happier. Lilith looks, I think, just a little better, honestly. I guess some other reskins here. Maybe some enemies on the burning basement floor. They're changing a bit to go along with that. I think just the ones that are on fire, they'll make a little darker. Then here's boss Gemini. He is a little bit different. He looks pretty cool. He looks more like the original style of the original game that came out. That wasn't pixels. It was more just like a drawn style. He looks more like that. Here's a really cool one. So for the Dank Depths floor, they're changing a lot of the lighting and the shadows. So instead of making the whole thing darker, they made it kind of a lighter look with some shadows going across the screen. I really like that because some of those floors, if you get Curse of Darkness on those floors, it's really hard to see. And I really like the lighting changes that were in the anti-birth mod. I'm glad they're bringing it here. Here's another reskin. I believe this is Adversary. Looks a little scarier. You know, I like it. I guess there's also a reskin of Teratoma, kind of the brother to Fistula, but he spawns spiders instead of maggots. Okay, so this thread, first, they're showing 2 of the new characters here. So Bethany, and then beside that is Jacob and Esau, who are kind of 2 characters that you play as one, which is kind of difficult, kind of hard to manage. So with Bethany here, instead of getting soul hearts added onto her health, she uses it as charges for her active item. This is really interesting because the active item she starts with, called the Book of Virtues, spawns fires that then shoot tears out. So basically soul hearts will turn into damage for her. Yeah, you can see in this video here a ton of fires. I believe they do contact damage, and they might block some shots. And with her, you can save up a ton of charges. Because if you can see under the keys for her, it might be a little hard to see it. There's a little soul heart bar. You can carry like 40 soul hearts and use every single one as charges in a single room. It can be pretty good, but not having soul hearts can be kind of difficult. Oh, and I guess her active item is no longer an active item. It kind of something that stays onto her. So if you can see in this, she picks up Tammy's head, which is already an active item, and it kind of opens up the book and goes on. So you will still get fires, but you will also keep the active item, which is really good because one of the problems with her in the anti-birth mod was that you couldn't take any other spacebar items because that one was so important for survival. And I guess they're adding a bunch of synergies here. You can see with the unicorn horn, she turns rainbow. All of her fires turn rainbow. I don't think they can be put out. Another one here with how to jump. She will instead leave fires on the ground that will block tears instead of them just going around her. And another one here, this one might be one of my favorite synergies I've seen so far with Shoot a Whoop, which is that item that shoots at a brimstone shot. All of her fires will shoot at a mini brimstone, kind of like Lil Brim, and it looks really, really cool. You can also see a reskin of Krampus here. He, it looks a little bit more menacing. I think they're changing the style a bit of this game, maybe a more animated feel. So this post right here is all about the Downpour floors, has the music, has some of the music for it, shows some of the enemies that will be around. Like instead of like spiders and stuff on this floor, there'll be little pond skater like water bugs, which are kind of difficult to manage because they kind of glide around. But the style of this floor is my favorite because there's so many good shadows and reflections and all the rain coming from the ceiling. It looks really cool. Here's another enemy. He'll shoot the green creep, kind of like those two-headed fatty guys on the first couple floors. He kind of shoots, I think he shoots tears that then drop the creep on the ground. And here's another little boss called Min Min. Calling him Min Min. Or that might be this bottom one here, throwing up a bunch of like little fireflies that'll shoot tears at you. Looks like a really interesting boss. And then here is a synergy with Soy Milk and Dr. Fetus, and I believe this rocket bomb upgrade, where you'll basically shoot missiles instead of bombs. Looks like a really fun item. I think this is one of the most popular threads that's been shown so far. It is showing a ton of the new synergies that are coming to the game. So here, this is with anti-grav and tech. So if you can see, it makes a little tech ball that'll stay around, and then it'll shoot a tech laser when you let go. It's really interesting. I think they also have parasite, so they're kind of splitting when they hit. It looks really cool. That's all I really gotta say. Then here is marked with brimstone and continuum. So the brimstone, I guess, will go around the screen one time. Then the marked will be able to let you aim it like diagonally. That looks really cool because I already wanted continuum brimstone to work for a while, and this one looks really cool, especially since the brimstone laser will turn like purple and white. And then this one here is with Mom's knife. Yeah, with Mom's knife, and then that prism, that glass prism that shoots out the rainbow tears. See, the Mom's knife kind of goes crazy out of that, and it looks really cool. I hope they had a bunch of synergies with that little triangle because it's a really fun item. This one is also one of the coolest ones so far. It is Tech and Monstro's Lung. So I think normally with Tech and Monstro's Lung, you charge it up and it would just shoot Tech kind of in random directions. But here, it's more of a traditional Monstro's Lung where it shoots out kind of like a spray just right in front of you. And all the Tech kind of just like moves around a lot. It isn't like super far range like Tech normally is, but it is piercing shots and it looks like it is really, really good. Then here with Brimstone and Soy Milk, which was probably one of the worst combos in the normal game because you would just have to keep spamming your arrow keys because it would charge up instantly and then you'd shoot and do like no damage. But here, you wouldn't have to charge up anymore. You just shoot the Brimstone laser by itself. And it curves. You can see it curves a lot more than normal Brimstone does, which is probably just one of the new quality of life changes they're adding. You know, I still don't know if I would like this that much because it's still really low damage, but it looks fun. This one is with Soy Milk and Monstro's Lung, and once again, before you just have to charge it up like instantly and shoot. But I think again here they're trying to make the synergies with Soy Milk better. So now you do not have to charge it, I believe, and you just hold it down and it'll shoot like that. You know, that one I kind of like better. Now this one here, so I guess it is Cursed Eye plus Chocolate Milk, then it is Tech and Homing. So all the things happening here, so I think it is Cursed Eye shooting a ton of tech lasers. Chocolate Milk is shooting a very big tech laser in the middle. And then obviously the tech doing the tech lasers and the homing. You know, this one looks really cool because chocolate milk is already a really good item, and just making the tech lasers huge is just way cooler. Here I think they're just showing off some of the new enemies like the bulb fly, and he will actually take away your charge instead of damage. That can be really annoying. Yeah, look, he hits him here, he takes 2 charges each hit. Ooh. And this one is a little spike ball, which I already hate a lot, but this one actually just comes after you really fast, and it won't stop until it hits the wall. They can also kill enemies though, which that looks pretty cool. And here are those fireflies that we saw before, which is one of the most hated enemies because they're so difficult. So they decided to make a level 2 version that actually goes onto enemies. There's ones that can go onto you and enemies, which is kind of annoying, just a little bit. And they are also adding in a holy mulligan, which it will shoot out the little angel babies. That one does not look like a fun enemy. Those little angel guys can be kind of difficult if you don't have good tiers. Okay, so I think this is another one just showing off some of the reskins, some of the new enemies. So this is another one of those little guys that goes just around like the different blocks and the edges of the room. And they leave behind the tar creep, which I think slows you down, maybe makes you slip around. They also look really fast. Oh yeah, they actually charge at you. Okay. And there's another one, a planetoid one, has tears circling around it. And here's some more reskins. So you might want to pause the video to see the different reskins, but they are making it more of like a smooth, cartoony feel. And then they're also redoing a ton of the different rocks for all the floors. But here's caves, more of like a spiky rock feel. You know, I guess we might have to relearn the tinted rocks for these floors. Here's on the drowned caves, the same kind of feel, but blue. And here is on the depths, which is kind of spiky still, but a little bit more blocky. You know, I can see a tinted rock there. It just has a little X on it. Okay, so here is a few more of the enemies, but one thing that this DLC is doing different, they're adding alternate paths for the new floors. So before in the anti-birth mod, there was just like a drowned sewer floor, and that was like the only one for the first one. I think they're kind of adding like a rotten sewer floor too. That's more of a green style. And it does not look very pleasant to be in. I gotta be honest here. Here's one of the new bosses. I think they're adding a lot more bosses in this. Oh, and here is a new item they are showing off called Montezuma's Revenge. It is a really short kind of Azazel brimstone laser that comes out of your character's butt. I think maybe you shoot all of your tears out the back of you. That is really interesting because you aren't really, you're aiming at where you're walking really. Ooh, I think this is some more reskins. So this is Blue Baby, and then this is Eve with her Whore Babylon activated, then there's another image of Lilith. So here's some of the tapeworm reskins. Might be a little small to see, but you know, they look a lot scarier here. And they're adding, I think they're changing Steven a bit. So instead of just tears coming out when he gets destroyed, it's a bunch of tiny little Steven heads that'll fly all the way across the room. Then here are reskins for Duke of Flies, all of the different horsemen. I think that is, I don't remember that one devil guy in the bottom corner. And this is a new one. So this is a new boss called Bambino. I don't think they are showing off I don't think they're showing him off at all. But you can see, even in this, Azazel has a little different feel to him. He's shaking a bit. They change his sprite up a bit for this little boss screen. Okay, we're almost at the end here, but these are some of the buffs that they're giving to some of the really bad items. So the first one is GB Bug. It's a little familiar that will follow you around. I don't really know what it did. I think it used to do damage, but now it kind of works like a Bob's Brain, but if you shoot it, it will change what a consumable is. This could be really strong. Like if you don't need any hearts or anything, you could turn them into keys, you can turn them into money or bombs, maybe even soul hearts. You can also change different enemies. I'm assuming you can only change them to ones that can be on that floor, or else like I wouldn't want to change a first floor enemy to someone on like the chest or something, but this item looks a lot cooler. Here's another one. So glass cannon, one of the not very good items in the game. So it is a spacebar item that will shoot out a really high damage tier, but it'll put you down to half a heart. But instead here, you shoot out a high damage tier and you'll go down to half a heart if you get hit, not just automatically when you use the spacebar item. It makes it more of a risk reward item. If you know you won't get hit and you want to do high damage to a room, really good. You can also use it twice in one room. That spacebar item might actually be pretty strong now, especially if it does take on the effects of your tiers. And another thing that they're doing with the item, so if you get hit after you use the glass cannon, it will change to a damaged glass cannon that is a 4-room recharge and will only turn back to normal glass cannon after you've used it. And this is another really, really bad one. It is the holy water, the little familiar that follows you around, and if you get damage, it'll spawn a very tiny pile of creep here. But once again, they're changing it to more of a Bob's Brain kind of familiar, where you throw it and it'll drop the creep on the ground instead. So I still don't think it'll be the best item, but it's a lot better now. Okay, I believe this is the last thread, and it is talking about true co-op that they're adding. So before, the co-op used to just be little familiars that'll go around, or you'd have to download mods to play with 2 people. But now they are fully adding it in, 2 separate characters where you have to each get different items. And I think you do share consumables. As you can see, there's only one consumable bar on the side. I think they're showing off a little ice item that goes around too and will hit enemies. So here's a few things that they have to say about. So if a player dies, they respawn as a ghost baby that can deal very little damage. And once the boss of the floor is killed, the ghost baby will be reborn as the original player, but with all their items, but only half a heart. And then when the boss is killed, it spawns a boss item. When a player picks it up, another boss item spawns to the next player. All other items are single spawn, so you must share. So only boss items will be for both of you. And yeah, they do clarify down here that you share consumables, but you each have your own HP and items. Once all the non-ghost player dies, the game is over. And true co-op is local only, but using Steam Remote Play, you can play local games online. So it isn't the best, it could still be a little laggy for the person playing Remote Play, but it is much better than having to figure out kind of like a difficult mod to try and play co-op. So I believe that is all right now. That's all there is to show about the new DLC before it comes out. You can go check out this Steam page on by yourself. You can just go onto the Rebirth community page and find the thread right here. You just click on it, you can look through all of them. They have some of the new music. There might be a little other things that I didn't cover, like a lot of the stuff they're talking about. I mostly just showed the images. And you know what, I think that is all for today. If you guys are ready for the DLC, I am going to be doing my unedited video on the Wednesday of the DLC. I'm going to be having the normal music. I won't be putting music over it. I'm super excited for it. And I guess I will see you guys in the next one.